Welcome to Just John and April, the relationship podcast. Today's episode is a little bit different from normal. We're taking some time to just pay tribute to the fallen and recently deceased Kobe Bryant. It's been a tough week in our household. We've heard the news. You guys were in the car, I guess, driving. John saw it on his phone and shared the news with you, and you guys called me, and you were immediately crying.
Yeah, we were taking him to a basketball game, and he saw it and showed it to me while I was driving, and I was like, that's not real.
Right.
Like, that can't be real. You know, don't just, believe right away. Mm-hmm. Let's wait. Let's look it up. Let's see. Because there's no way that's true.
Right.
Like, that's exactly what I said to him.
Right.
Because it was just unbelievable.
Yeah. I was at a leadership conference, and somebody across the room looked at me and made a face and then gestured that I need to look at my phone. And when I did, I saw a text message from that guy. And the text said, TMZ is reporting that Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash. And this is like 2:45 in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's around 11:45 Pacific time. And I immediately did the same exact thing. The first thought was disbelief. You know, the guy who was doing the conference was literally in the middle of a sentence. And so I was really paying attention to what the guy was saying. And then the other guy told me to look at my phone. And the feeling I felt immediately was like my heart dropped into my stomach.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, this can't be true. And so I started looking it up, and I couldn't find any other news outlet that was saying anything. In fact, when I Googled Kobe Bryant, what it said was that LeBron had just passed Kobe Bryant for third all-time scoring, blah, blah, blah. That's all the news that was coming up. I went straight to ESPN. ESPN was not reporting it.
Right.
So I responded to the guy. I said, nobody else is reporting this. And then I kept looking, and news kept coming in. And, of course, we figured out that it was actually true. And after that meeting was over, all of us were around, standing around just talking and stuff, and all in disbelief. And I was just trying to grapple with it. And I was trying to figure out why it was hitting me so hard, because I was never really a Kobe Bryant fan back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Me either. But, I mean, recently, since he retired.
Yes.
I really started to really like him.
Yeah.
And watch his stuff. And
right.
I was following his, all his different things that he's doing and whatever.
His Oscar that he won and all that stuff.
So I think we became Kobe fans after he retired.
I became a Kobe fan probably a little bit before he retired. I think it was his last season playing in the league.
I think so too. For me too.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Remember, I went to that game. He came to Atlanta to play the Hawks. And one of my friends, Jeff Taylor, got some tickets right behind the Laker bench. Jeff is a huge Laker fan. And he invited me to come to the game. We sat like 3 rows behind the bench. I could actually hear Kobe while he was talking to the players on the bench. Mm-hmm. And the game, I think maybe in the third quarter, Kobe brought the team back for maybe 17 down. I guess maybe it was the fourth quarter. They were down by a lot in the fourth quarter. This guy kind of took the game over. And this is like old Kobe.
Right.
And he had Achilles surgery and all that stuff. So he wasn't the same guy. But yet there was something remarkable about that. And that I just saw something different then and started liking him.
Yeah.
And even more so, once he retired, like you said, Kobe to me has been evolving. It's like every year he's been getting better, nicer.
Yes.
Like a better dad,
when he first came in,
person.
I was like, who's this cocky guy,
Yeah.
And I was never a Laker fan. So, I wasn't a Kobe fan either, but I was always a fan of his game, I guess. Right. I respected his game.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't help but respect his game.
You have to.
I mean, even if you think he thinks he's all that.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, you have to
his
respect
game,
his game.
But once he retired, it was like, I don't know. This is how I felt. I felt like Kobe never really felt comfortable, and I may be wrong, but it just seemed like he never really felt comfortable being himself 100%.
You mean early on?
Early on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you could just see that he was just starting to relax into himself over the years.
Yeah.
And then once he retired, it was like, you're getting all Kobe.
Yeah.
And
completely
I was like,
confident in who he was.
I was like, wow, I really like this Kobe,
Right.
who is totally confident. He's not, he don't care what people think. He don't care what they say,
Right.
which, when you're younger, you usually do.
Right.
That's
true.
And I just enjoyed watching that Kobe and following that Kobe and getting to know that Kobe.
Right.
Yeah. So it really hit me hard. I mean, I could not stop crying. It was like, it's been really all week. Every night I've had some tears.
Right.
Just watching and just constantly seeing the replays of him talking and playing and just with his family. And I think it's just been hard, as a fan.
Of course, it went to another level once we found out that his daughter Gigi was in the plane in the helicopter.
Now let me tell you what happened. So when we found out, it was said none of his daughters were on the plane.
Right.
None of his family members.
No family, right.
And I mean, I was hurt that Kobe had died. But to hear that was kind of like a relief. Like, oh, thank you. Because I was thinking, oh, man, is his wife or his kids on there,
Right.
And then to hear, seconds later.
Right.
That she was on there.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that really just hit
Yeah.
so hard because, I mean, that's you and Julia's age.
Right. Yeah. Kobe is a week older than I am. He was born in late August 23rd of 1978. I was born September 1st, 1978. So, I mean, I graduated from high school. So did he.
Yeah.
He went to the NBA. So did, I mean, I went.
You wish you had been able
I do
you
wish
you had those skills.
I do wish I could have, yeah. But, I've been, feeling like sort of like we're contemporaries our entire lives.
Gigi's 13
and Julia's 12. She'll be 13 in August.
So I don't know, it just hit so hard, man. It hit so hard. It's still hitting. Like I was watching tonight, the special that
the Spike Lee thing,
and it was like he's not really gone. Like I still don't feel like he's gone because it just I can't see that as the past. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't see that as that was Kobe. You know what I'm saying? In that kind of way.
Yeah.
I just can't see it yet.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine what his family and close friends are going through.
I
don't even know him.
Right.
Personally.
Right. Yeah.
And it's hitting me this hard. It's like what are they going through?
Right.
And so my prayers every night has just been that they are comforted, because this has to be the hardest thing. I mean, to me, this is like worse than a tragedy. I mean, it's like the worst tragedy because people lose family members every day, but you're losing one.
Right.
You're not losing 2 and 3.
Right.
I mean, I'm thinking about the other family with 3 family members. Like, you're not losing multiple family members at the same time.
Right.
So
that's so much harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, they both have their lives ahead of them. Kobe's only 41 years old.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? 13-year-old daughter.
Left.
She had her entire life ahead of her.
Yeah.
And so it's very sad. So a couple of things we need to say.
Well, I just want to say this, though.
Go ahead.
We were Gigi fans because we've been watching her.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like we became fans of her before she even got to that point in life.
Yeah.
So I
follow Kobe on Instagram, and he's been posting his Mamba sessions with his daughter in their personal gym at home and stuff. And I was showing April, I was like, this girl looks like she's about to be good. And, he didn't have any boys. He didn't have any sons. And people sort of talked to him about it like, sorry you didn't have anybody to, continue the legacy. And he was like, my daughter about to do that.
He was like, please.
You know what I'm saying? I got one.
He said Gigi was like, I am.
What about me? Yeah. Yeah. So she was about to be something.
I know.
It was clear.
It's so sad.
Yeah, it's sad. So
really
a couple things. Number one, I love you. You know I love you. And, I say that all the time. But I really want you to know that. We've had our own near-death experiences. And this situation with Kobe makes me realize that we cannot take life for granted. Every single, we say that all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's like a cliche.
Yeah.
By the way, cliches are cliches for a reason. They're true.
Right.
So you say them so much because they're true, and eventually it becomes a cliche. And the problem with a cliche is that it loses its power. It's something that meant something at some point. Now we say it so much that it doesn't mean anything. So we always say, don't take life for granted.
Or life is short.
Life is short. All that stuff. But it really is.
But it's true.
I mean, you can be here today and gone today. And it can be in a matter of moments where you don't see it coming. You have no idea. And then all of a sudden, it's over. And I want to spend less time thinking about stuff that doesn't matter.
Right.
There's so much that means very little that we spend our time on instead of spending time making memories, creating opportunities for relationship, spending our time laughing together, smiling together, joking around, hugging each other, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm more committed now. I think I wanted to always be that way, but I feel like situations like these remind me of how important that is. And so we've spent some good time together this week, and we've been,
We have.
we've been talking a lot and with the kids and stuff and relating to each other,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I want. I want to continue doing that.
Yeah. And I want to encourage you to do the same because, like you said, life is short. It can be taken away in a moment. And I feel like we kind of give too much attention or too much energy or stress on so many little things that don't matter
Right.
in our relationships.
Right. We do.
We turn it to relationships
Mm-hmm.
and, being upset with each other over little things that really
Mm-hmm.
could be an apology, could just, end it.
Right.
And you just,
Or a little
try
more
to work it out.
A little more patience, and it
A
wouldn't
little
have been
more
anything in the first
That's
place.
true. That's true. Because I feel like, my fear is always that my parents, siblings, my kids, that, we get in an argument and that's the last thing that we said to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Or, it's like life is too short for that to be, because then you end up living with guilt.
Right.
And I just feel like this situation has made me think about that again.
Yeah.
And when we realize, these things that we get upset about and that we stress about, and of course, we're human and things like that bother us. But I think things like this can put us back into the right perspective. That
I think so too.
We should be easier to get along with.
Mm-hmm.
We should be more patient.
Mm-hmm.
We should be more loving,
Mm-hmm.
kind in our words, because
Mm-hmm.
that could be the last words that you
true.
give and say to that person.
You're right.
And
Yeah. And
anyway.
I think people say that kind of stuff all the time, and you think they're trying to manipulate you. You're just saying that I could die in a minute, and you're saying that because you're trying to get me to do something or whatever. But stuff like this makes you recognize it really can't
That is
happen.
true. Yeah. And what makes it really hit harder is because sometimes we think that people who have fame and they have money and they are, very successful, that it can't happen to them.
Right.
Or it won't.
Right.
I've even subconsciously thought that, you know what I mean? But we see here that that's not the case.
Right.
We've seen this before, but
Right.
I don't know, this just hits harder because it's such a tragedy the way it happened. Just everything is just so, it's just so hard to see.
Yeah.
And you normally don't see this where it's multiple family members too.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And kids.
Yeah.
So I just feel like we need to take this, and I can see us that this tragedy can turn into bringing out love.
Yeah. Right.
Between family members and
Yeah.
friends, squashing beef that
Yeah.
you've had for years.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah.
You got beef with somebody and they could be gone, and then you feeling bad.
Right.
Because once that happens, it's like reality changes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wait a minute. Why am I?
What was I thinking about
What was
all
I
that
thinking
time?
about?
Yeah.
And it takes somebody dying to make you see it's not that deep.
Right. It's
It's
bad.
just not.
So here's the
You
other
know.
thing. I really love the fact that God blessed us with children, but I like being a girl dad. I like the fact that I have a daughter. It seems like when you watch Kobe's arc, his personality, the things that happened over time, it feels like his having daughters contributed to him becoming a nicer person. You know what I'm
He
saying?
even says that.
Yeah.
His
And-
teammates said it too.
Well, the same thing happened to me. I mean, we had Julia, and something happened. I feel like I got softer. My boys even said it. They would joke on me, and I wouldn't joke back right away. And they'd be like, "Yo, what happened to you? Why are you so soft?" You know what I'm saying? And I love being a girl dad. I love Julia, our daughter, and I love John, obviously too. That's my dog. But I love our daughter, and I love the fact that I get to be a girl dad, and I share that reality with Kobe. I think that's something that helped me to become a better person. You know what I'm saying? See the world a little bit differently, to not be so impatient and so hard all the time. You know what I'm saying? I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
I was looking at some pictures today of me and Julia, And I posted some stuff on Instagram and got reactions immediately. That's your twin, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And anyway, I just thank God for that. But there's one more thing, and this is maybe a stretch for some. I think our audience knows we believe in God. And we believe that God is in control of everything, that there are things that we don't understand that he allows to happen in life sometimes. And I have a friend, his name is Noah, who called me earlier this week, and he suggested something I hadn't thought about. He said, I feel like there are two things that have the ability to bring people together like other stuff can't. He said that's music and sports. I said, that's kind of true. You see a lot of people kind of different walks of life who can kind of, basically coalesce around something they have in common, like music or sports.
Yeah.
And he pointed out that our world, our country is very divided. There's a lot of malice for each other on either side. And he was saying that he noticed right away when this happened that some of that stuff kind of went away, and it feels like people maybe are coming together over Kobe. And he said, the thing is, Kobe had worldwide reach. People in Asia love Kobe like crazy. People in Italy, because he's from Italy.
Right.
Of course, the United States. People all around the world are mourning. It's like for a day, the world stopped spinning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was like that.
Yeah. And if you're looking for good, if you're looking for some positive thing, some ray of hope, some, positive thing out of this, maybe it's that more people in the world are thinking right now that the stuff we trip about, the stuff that we fight over, the stuff that separates us is just not that big of a deal. And maybe we can sort of come together around this situation. Anyway, my heart goes out to the family. Obviously, I'm praying for Vanessa and the other three girls now. He has another newborn, basically. She's like 7 months. And I pray God's blessing on them, that he would give them comfort during this time. And I'm praying also that we would not allow ourselves to go back to normal after a few weeks.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That this becomes our new normal.
Yeah.
This idea of cherishing life, cherishing every moment, not letting a day go by that we don't show our love to each other, and making sure that everyone in this family knows I love you. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got to do.
We do.
We got to be serious about it, man.
We do. And we're praying for the other families as well.
Absolutely. Those families
they're going through
got to be devastated.
so much.
Yeah. Anyway,
So
I love you, babe.
love you too, honey.
For real. We love you guys too.
Love you guys. Bye.
See you next time.
To be a better way than the way that you're living today. Gotta be somebody to say everything gonna be alright.
That's right.
There's gonna be a better day. I can feel it when I pray. Trouble's gonna pass away. Everything gonna be alright.
Alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything